Episode number 152.
I think it's important for you to spend some time, whether it's once a week, once a month, whatever you can, to really kind of understand what others are doing. It refreshes your mind, even though that idea may never work in your business, but it just kind of gets those creative juices going.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, I'm a little under the weather, but I'm still fired up today to bring you our featured guest, Leslie Smith. Leslie, are you ready to be real?
I am ready to be real.
Oh, yeah. Leslie has led the launch of Silver Hill Funding in 2016, and she's now actually building a new experience focused on the consumers under the business name Commercial Direct. And she has a lot of experience in the financial services and professional services fields, as well as obviously she's been working for 20 years in this industry, folks. So she knows what she's talking about. And we're just excited to have you on the show today. Leslie, how's your day going today?
It's end of month for us, so it's always exciting.
Oh, there you go. Everyone's tallying how many loans they got?
Well, you don't count your chickens until they're hatched. So
there you go.
And that, tomorrow end of business, we'll be tallying up.
Got you. Is it usually end of the month is a big day just to make
always.
Sure everything's going through?
No, in the originations business, it's always all roads lead to the last 4 or 5 days of the month.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. We've tried so many different incentives to get people to get closed earlier, but I don't know. It just seems like, well, I guess I have to get focused, and they get all their stuff in, and then we try to do our best to get it closed. But as long as I've been in this industry, it's always been the same. Wow,
it's interesting because I got my keys like on the 1st of July, so obviously I had the closing had to been done at the end of the month.
Yes.
Crazy. That's true. Very interesting and pleasure to have you on the show today. So you first built Silver Hill Funding, which was mostly focused on a wholesale funding model?
Right. Same product, small balance commercial loans from $250 to $5 million, okay. But through commercial and residential mortgage brokers.
Got you. And serving the entire United States, a certain area? I know you're out in Florida.
We are in Florida, but we're a national lender.
Nice. And who's your sweet spot? Who do you tend to tend to work with most?
So from a borrower perspective, like who is that, like our borrower profile?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so for us, our typical loan size is about, $450,000. So we're not talking about, top dollar. We're talking about a small business owner,
sure,
or an investor.
Right.
So those are the two buckets. So when you're talking about a small business owner, you're looking at folks that have, they're operating their business in that particular building, and they want to refi. They want to, refinance either of a not so great term. They want to refi because their current lender really does not want that loan on their books. And so that's one profile. Another profile, that's an owner-occupied profile. An investor, we have different flavors of investors, but we have investors that are started with, that 1 to 4 single family home investment. Yes. And they're, slowly and very curiously wanting to open their horizons into maybe a multifamily, going into the 8 to 10, 12 units type of multifamily.
And so those investors are shorter term, right?
Well, our typical loan is about 5 years, 30-year AM.
5 years.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So a lot of, especially where interest rates are going, people really are interested in, locking in something, a reasonable rate for a longer period of time.
Got you. So gone are the days that you would want the money returned in 6 months or something.
Well, some of those investors, they've done that already. And now, the market is different. So they're looking to hold.
Got you. Maybe turn the investment into rentals or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Got you. And so what challenges did you have when you were first starting your business? It's a very traditional, very regulated business. What was one of your biggest hurdles right now? I mean, what is one of your biggest hurdles right now launching Commercial Direct?
launching a retail brand is very, very challenging because, as consumers, we're distracted. I mean,
Right.
people, companies come at you in so many different ways, and, they're pulling for your attention. So in trying to
Absolutely.
get someone's attention, one, and then number two, finding that person that wants a small balance commercial loan. And then three, creating a platform that makes it easy for people to understand what we do and that it would be easy for them to do it. Because I think a lot of what's challenging is that, people think of commercial as very, very complicated and something that they don't really understand. What we try by educating people, through blogs, through video, is to have them understand that, the process mirrors very much like, your residential mortgage.
Right.
There are some slight differences, but generally it's real estate. And so, we try our best to, hold people's hand and educate them about the commercial product. But getting the word out there, very hard. And I think anyone that has a retail, facing company knows how hard it is to get those customers in.
Because you got people with deep pockets doing the your houses, but it's a unique audience too. You don't want to just waste money.
Exactly.
With your advertising, with your marketing. As someone that runs a social media business, one of the powers of digital when I first was working at ABC television was, I can't tell how many people are watching my Oprah ad. I mean, it was all estimates. It was all these fictitious numbers or estimated numbers. And then when the internet started popping off, you could actually see how many people are watching a certain primetime show on our local website. And that, started to put numbers behind that. So obviously that's where now where you can do a lot of things with targeting and retargeting. So the best thing I do is just retarget the audience that's been to your site. I think that's one of the most brilliant things in your line of business too, as they're probably first shopping and kind of figuring out what your brand is, and then educating too, like you said, and obviously doing what you're doing right now. I mean, getting on podcasts, being innovative to get your brand out there is what everyone's got to do because it's more tactical.
Yeah, it is. And I think, leveraging as a lender, I don't only pay attention to what other lenders are doing and how they're getting their brand out there. I think it's really smart for you to look at other industries and how they're being effective in getting their message and who they are out in the world. Because, you never know, like maybe something that a retailer may be doing you can leverage that maybe slightly differently for a lending platform like us. And we do, look at a lot of data. I mean, we spend a lot of time looking at, where people go to our website, how long are they on our website, what really caught their eye. We pay attention to, email. Did they open our email? What part of the email did they like? We're educating in a different way. 10 years ago, I would have never thought of putting, educational information on YouTube. But it's a way how people learn and access their information. So it's not only traditional lending vehicles that we use to put the word out there, but in all kinds of ways that consumers consume their information.
Absolutely. And I think that's a good point. You just have to learn from what's Taco Bell's doing successfully to get people to buy tacos, or what McDonald's is doing. Those people are some of the best advertisers. Let's just be real. Coca-Cola. I mean, it's not necessarily the best product for us, but they're really good at advertising and marketing and keeping their customers, Yeah,
I mean, I'm just curious about, there's so much new, like, for example, like how is voice, search and that Alexa, how can that impact me later on, down the road? Look, creating for like content, like, okay, so I'm introducing you to my product and we create a lot of content, blogs and emails. But like when someone's going through our process, like we should also probably introduce like middle to end content about the process and what to expect. Yeah. So they don't feel like, oh, they got me on the hook and they're okay, then they leave me alone. Right. We want to kind of use the technology in different ways and in different times of a lending a process.
Yeah, I'm sure showing them like a roadmap or something like that, where it's like, this is what's going to happen step 1. This is what's going to happen step 2. I mean, I remember I created a real simple, basic one, but it's helped me so much because it just is the phases of launching a campaign on social. There's about 6 phases or 5 phases. And, each one, there's different things we need to get to the second phase. And I'm sure it's the same thing with you with like, oh, we got to get your documents. We got to get your bank statements. We got to get your...
Yeah. I think another way that we're experimenting with is like using video, like sending, instead of a processor sending an email like, hey, I need your tax returns again, for example. Like what we do is we're testing it with, sending a video, like
Yep.
the processor tapes themselves and they say,
Yep.
hey, here we are here, hi, I'm Miriam, we're on day X of our transaction. These are the things that we're missing. This is what we'd like to do.
Cool.
So, and that basically, honestly, I'm just trying to be top of mind. People are busy in their inboxes, their personal inboxes,
Absolutely.
their Facebook inboxes, their work inboxes are pretty, jammed up a lot of times. And it's hard to get through that clutter. Like, how do I make it interesting? Or like, how do I get top of mind? So those are always, aside from making loans and being thoughtful about how we make those loans, we really think creatively about how we communicate and not only to bring in that lead, but also get that loan closed.
Right. Because if you don't get it closed, then you don't get paid.
Exactly. We don't. I need to keep the lights on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, also, what is one of your personal habits that you believe is leading to your success right now?
Personal habits. So I think one is, like I said earlier, really paying attention to other industries, not only my own.
Right.
And really understanding where consumer behavior is, and what are people doing, what we're doing creatively outside of lending and banking, or even real estate, and can I apply those things? So I'm always learning. I think it's important for you to spend some time, whether it's once a week, once a month, whatever you can, to really kind of understand what others are doing, and it refreshes your mind, even though that idea may never work in your business,
right?
But it just kind of gets those creative juices going. I think another piece that as I build this business, one of the things that I spend a lot of time on is really thinking about who I hire. And as a small company, we're not, it's important. Every person matters. Yes. So you kind of need all these unicorns to be able to do all these different types of things. So right. I spend a lot of time really understanding who I'm hiring and making sure I make a good decision there, because it has so many different impacts, on the current team, on your ability to execute, with limited resources.
And a lot of things right now, because it's such a tighter job labor market across, the United States, especially California, is people have options.
Yes, they do.
So you got to treat them right. You got to provide to their environment. I remember when I first started my business 9 years ago, people thought it was crazy that I was letting my team members work from home and letting them work, and that was the accountability. You got the work done, you send over the statement, and I pay you. And it was like, wow, that's crazy. And it doesn't work for everybody because everyone's going to, want different dreams and aspirations. But the best part about it is if we, need to grow, we just basically allow for people to grow within their environments. And it's a lot of trust that has to happen. It's not for every business, but the best part about being a business owner is you get to decide, but team is so important. It's so important to have people on your team to help you grow.
I think loyalty and trust comes not only in a paycheck, but if people feel that they have there's trust and that you can, create an environment where they that they have that flexibility for whatever reason.
Right.
That bottom dollar is always important, of course, but I think they'll think about that. They'll think about maybe someone poaching them. Like, Absolutely. Am I going to have, the quality, the work-life balance that I have currently, right. With an additional $5,000, and so people, are really, I think it's a combination. You have to create an environment where people are excited to come. Making loans is not the sexiest thing on earth, but, I think what people need to be is say, are they excited to come to work? Are they, do they feel that they're trusted, that they're valued? And I think that's a day-to-day thing. That doesn't happen every 6 months or once a year when you do a review or whatever. That's, as a manager, you have to be thoughtful about that and know whether someone's not happy before that, they pull that trigger.
And as in your business, it's you're helping businesses grow, right?
Yes.
Most of the time they need you because they're growing.
Well, they need me because, a lot of times they're unable to get financing through traditional means. Gotcha. I think for us, what our strengths are is, my parent company, we've been in the commercial real estate space for a really long time. So we know real estate. So although we're in Coral Gables, we have ways of understanding the real estate nationally. Okay. But secondly, I think for us, what we see is our folks that have been running their businesses and successfully, they've made it through a recession, and, they're just not able to document that to the exact requirements typically that a traditional bank may want.
Right.
What we've done is we've put a program together that we help those people that have a strong credit score, real estate, but we understand their story, and we find a way to cobble together that credit file to let us know this is a person that's going to repay this loan.
Right.
And when you're talking about a $350,000 loan or $250,000 loan, the stories are important, equally as important as a document that may come to me for me to finish my due diligence.
Right.
So we are truly looking at someone that's been running this business for X amount of years and really understanding how they've been able to do that. And then that combination and due diligence, the story kind of comes together, and that's how we get comfortable. Yeah. But my typical borrower is someone that does not have millions of dollars of net worth.
Right.
Their livelihood is really in that real estate that they're coming to me either to purchase or to refinance.
There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of entrepreneurs making money on real estate or growing their businesses, and needing more property for their business.
Yes.
But now we're about to take you, Leslie, to the top 10. Are you ready?
Okay.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram.
Insta.
Yep.
Chicken or steak?
Steak.
Nice. Laptop or an iPhone?
I have both.
Both. Spotify or Pandora?
Pandora.
You like the fact that you can just curate a radio station?
Yes.
Nice.
And the commercials sometimes, they don't bother me.
They don't bother because they're very targeted now. Huh? They're more targeted.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Movies or video games?
Movies.
Reading books or listening to books?
Listening. That's new for me in 2018.
I started listening to Strong Father, Strong Daughter because I'm planning to we're having a little baby, a first baby girl here in February.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations. Mine are turning 5 in 3 days.
Wow. Do you have twins or?
Twin girls. They're 5.
Wow. What a blessing, huh?
Yes.
That's the best part about being an entrepreneur too, as well as you have control of your time.
Mm-hmm. And that listening to books, it's been really, really helpful with them.
Yeah. Right. It's interesting. I always used to listen to books back in the day, but now it's made obviously a huge revolution with Audible and things like that. But I was at the gym this morning, and you can just listen to a couple chapters of the book while you're working out. I mean, it's like
I do that, or when I drive,
yes.
in and out of the office, I'm like, wow, I already finished the book, and when it would take me a quarter before to
right.
read something.
And if you like it a lot, just listen to it again. I'm also listening to The Power of Positivity from one of our guests, Garen Jones, and this book is amazing just because it has these simple facts that just clearing your mind of stress and fear and worry every night. That alone before you go to bed, it's amazing what can happen from that. And so the cool thing about Audible is you can just re-listen to it if it's really impactful for you, or you put it on your list to listen to it next month, but it's amazing. It's amazing how with audio, I think it's very interesting, like what you said earlier too, about where that's going to go, and that's why we have invested in the podcast and working at it for now 2.5 years is because we thought, hey, this is just a great way for people to learn about new businesses, strategies, what's making people successful, their dreams, and also do it at the gym or do it on your convenience, not have to be there right in front of us and not have to watch a video.
I know people learn so differently than before. And so, this is just another way that people listen and they learn. I think that's
content right to your eardrum.
Yeah.
No filter of wave of air, nothing. It's just right to your eardrum. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Last 2 things, stocks or crypto?
Stocks.
Oceans or lakes?
Oceans.
Okay. When you wake up in the morning, why do you love being you? Why do you love being Leslie Smith?
I love being Leslie Smith because I have a great work-life balance.
Ooh, I like that.
I love what I do, and my family life allows me to be focused at work and vice versa.
Gotcha.
And so I think that is, I'm not consumed by either, and both make me just a good me.
Which is, I mean, that's really happiness at the end of the day, is just finding that balance. I mean, there's so many people that hate going to work.
Yes. And the day that I wake up is the day that I come into my boss's office and say, look, I'm not the person to lead this company.
Right.
You need someone that loves to do this.
Right. Well, I don't see that happening for you, but I mean, let's be real. But also, after a long day, what's your favorite meal?
Oh, pasta, which is
Pasta.
bad.
Nice. What kind of pasta?
Typically like the fattiest, like a baked ziti or a lasagna.
Yeah. Why not? Once a month, once a week. You know what I mean?
That's what I do once a month. I'll have like a lasagna.
Yeah.
Or even more luxurious, like a chicken parm.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's me and my wife's favorite too. We just came back from Italy. They do it a little different over there, obviously, because they don't use all the sauces and things we have out here. But just the flavor of the actual pasta over there just is unbelievable. They don't put any sauce on it because it's just the pasta speaks for itself. You know, it's a comforting thing. But you can't do it every day. But
no.
It's nice to, treat yourself once in a while. Is there a skill right now that you're trying to master?
I'm trying to master data science.
Ooh, wow. How are you doing that?
Well, I'm reading a lot. I've actually listened to a couple of podcasts, but as marketers and, loan originators, we create data every second of the day.
Yes.
And so I really want to learn on how to leverage that to make me better, to help me predict more thoughtfully about, what loans are going to close, what loans are not going to close, what borrowers are likely, to, engage with us. I think that's going to be a big focus of mine in 2019, is really understanding and building models around the data that I create. I'm not looking for new data. I'm just using my historical stuff, the stuff that I create every day to help me make better decisions. And
are you analyzing it like in Excel or something like that?
No, there's a couple of, and that's what I'm learning. There's a couple of different platforms out there that are pretty good, that help you put that together. And it's basically like, think about it like the fastest and, version of your laptop, where it can take, hundreds and thousands of millions of data points and help you then make decisions. And these are very powerful tools that, I'm assuming I'm sure Amazon has like rooms of people that's all they do. Right. Yep. So I need to get to that point where I can visualize my business much more clearly than I do right now.
I think that's a whole new thing, because understanding who your customer is and who your future customer is and who's your prospects and is a big deal. I mean, it really is.
We see that. We see it a little bit, but not as detailed as I know we can.
Right. Well, that's cool. Shout out to you for taking on a new challenge in your business. Do you have a favorite app or tool you like using, like on a daily basis, or something that helps you to get through your day?
An app, I usually use like a couple of things. I use like that one app that you keep all your passwords.
Like honestly, like 1Pass or something like that.
Yeah, like it's really, really helpful just to kind of organize yourself. And then I use a lot of the OneNote on my iPad. I stopped carrying paper with me as much, and I just really started just taking notes on my iPad, and it's been really helpful to just keep that kind of a centralized train of thought. And in there, it's like all kinds of things that I have to do today, things that I new ideas. But just keeping that close to me has been really helpful, and I can access it from my phone or my iPad.
Yes. And I like a notepad, but yeah, I think I need to take that challenge too, because sometimes you just scribble stuff down and you're like, ugh, what did I say?
Yeah, and my handwriting's at the best, so this is really helpful.
Yeah, or sharing the notes with someone else. You share the notes with someone else. You share your scribble versus it's a lot easier to share a Word doc.
Yeah, and then the only other app that I use the most is my Salesforce app.
Okay, Salesforce. Shout out to Salesforce. Great company. Probably a good time to invest in them right now. Be real. If you could sit down tonight for a chicken parm dinner, who would it be? Anyone in the world?
Yeah. Top of mind would be now Michelle Obama, because I'm listening to her book.
I love her. Are you listening to her new book?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm halfway through.
What is your first feeling? What could you sell us on the reason we need to pick the book up?
I think it's a really beautiful story about a person's evolution, like who you become and the things in your life that, when you look back, influence the road that you're on.
Wow.
And that it's not a linear road. People need to understand that it's a very windy road and it's okay, but that's how you become who you are.
Ooh, I like that. And at the end of a long day, do you have a favorite show or thing to do with your two girls and fam?
Well, when I come home, we typically do a little dance party or we read.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
And we read in a different way. There's a little thing that I bought from my iPhone that you attach it and it projects on the ceiling. And then it just kind of helps you with the story. And it's actually very, it keeps them engaged in the book because they're visually looking at something in the dark in their room. So it's a mini projector. It's actually very, very fun.
That is really cool. A mini projector for your iPhone. Making notes here because that's a good one. Can you give our listeners, Leslie, one last real talk thought?
I think for my perspective, if you're trying to run your small business, please, if a bank tells you no or a lender tells you no, keep looking for financing because there are people like me that can help you with either expanding your business or starting a business. So I think don't get discouraged. Keep on looking and come find us at commercialdirect.com.
Nice. And do you have a favorite place that you like to hang out on social?
On social? Meaning like the business?
Yeah. Is there a favorite place that the business likes to hang out? Like likes to, usually there's a top platform basically that you have.
We typically use mostly LinkedIn. LinkedIn, Commercial Direct, and we also have some Facebook page.
And we'll put them all in the show notes. Well, folks, you've been hanging out with Leslie Smith and Travis Too Tall and Huff. I want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real. What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today.